Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Micah and I thought that for today we could just do a little casual get ready with me. I am going to be using some products that are currently in my Shop My Stash. I'm also going to be trying some products for like that I'm trying out and that I just want to try again in a video. And I also have a couple of like new bits that I haven't really put on much yet. So there's going to be like a real mix of products here. Some of these are also staples that I reach for every single day, so let's just get straight to it. I'm not really sure what we're going to be chatting about per se. I just thought we could have a nice little chat about some makeup products. And some of the products that I would like to reuse in today's video are some of these e.l.f. products that I tried out last week in a full face of e.l.f. This primer was one of the standout products for me in that video. I thought it was really nice. But I did find that as I was wearing that makeup throughout the day, that it started to look a little bit cakey and perhaps a little bit just not the best, you could say. So I would like to try it with a different foundation, and the foundation that I put in my Shop My Stash to use when my Maybelline, what was it called? Maybelline Fit Me had run out because I wanted to try and use that up. I would switch to the Fenty, and this is her Hydrating Pro Filter Hydrating Long Wear Foundation. I have this in the shade 120, and I've been using this with my Becca primer, and I feel that it sort of moves around too much, and this perhaps sort of made the foundation dry down a bit too much. So I was hoping that if I would put these in like a different combo, that I might see a different effect. Another product that I'm going to be trying again, which was in that e.l.f. video as well, is their Camo Concealer. This was one product in that video that I didn't like at all, and I've been trying to make it work throughout the week. I was like, I shouldn't give up on it too quickly. It felt very drying, and a lot of you were giving me tips on how I can better use this, so I've been trying to apply those, but I just think me and this concealer, I don't think we're a match made in heaven. So let's start with priming our face with the e.l.f. Beauty Shield SPF 50, and it's called the Skin Shielding Primer. And I already showed you in that video that it has a tint. So if you pump this out, it has like this skin color kind of vibe to it, and it has a little bit of coverage. So I actually think that this may be really nice as like a base on its own come the summertime, when I do like to try and use some more lightweight products. So again, I have a little bit of redness in my face. So yeah, this in the other video I perhaps used a little bit too much as well. So I'm just gonna go and see if I can use this primer in a slightly more economic way, use less product and still make it work. Because maybe it looked a little cakey as well, and it influenced the wear time of those other products that I put on top because of how much I actually put on. So I think that you always need to try products in several ways before you can really make up your thoughts, which is why I wanted to do this video and sort of come back and update you on some of the things in my Shop My Stash and show you some things that I'm trying out and sort of do that and just chit chat and just have a bit of fun. The Fenty foundation, I've just been using one pump of that. It's quite a runny texture. Did I already mention what shade it's in? It's in shade 120. So let me apply that to my face. And I feel that with just one pump, that this already gives me the coverage that I want, and because that primer already evens out my skin tone quite a bit, I feel I don't need that much product with this. So let me see. And so far, this Fenty foundation has been lovely in terms of how it like sits on the skin and how it looks in the skin for like a few hours, but I've been wearing this to work all week, and in terms of lasting power, it's not a good one. I suffer from pretty bad allergies, and so I always have a sniffly nose, and especially when my nose area just rubs off, and at the end of the day there's no foundation left. So I just wanted to see again with a different primer, maybe it will perform differently, who knows. I'm not sure. And I like to not use too much of this foundation because it is quite thick and creamy, and perhaps I need to try another pump, but I don't feel I need any more coverage. And I didn't think that it can also, especially if you have dry skin, I feel that if you use too much product, that it can sort of like really emphasize dryness a lot more than when you go in with a very thin layer. So I quite like the look of it. It's really nice and glowy. It just doesn't have really great wear time for me so far. At the end of a working day in this area of my face, it's like completely gone. The minute I eat something and I sort of wipe my face, I also wipe off foundation. Forgot to prime my lids, but I'm still using up or trying to use up this Essence eyeshadow primer. This is from their You Better Work line. And you know, you guys, I almost forgot, but 'tis the season again of the Catrice and Essence updates. So I already spotted that the Catrice website has been updated now. So I hope that I can do some first impressions for you on some of the new Catrice stuff soon. The Essence website has also been changed, but they still seem to be stuck in 2019 because they now have an image on there to promote the fall winter collection of 2019. And I'm like, that came out like 6 months ago. So maybe you need to change that. So, but yeah, Essence and Catrice have not really been good at updating their website, it seems. So, but I saw Catrice already pushing some of their new products on their Instagram. Usually Catrice comes out first and then about a month later Essence. They've been sort of pushing it back a week for like the past 2 years. So it was always released in like mid-January, and now it seems to be more like at the end of January, which is fine by me. So maybe next week or the week after I can do a new product with like new video with Catrice products that have come out. So now I'm gonna go in with that e.l.f. concealer, and your tip was to really apply this in stages. So apply a dot, blend it in, apply a dot, blend it in. And that's been working a lot better for me, I have to say. And then it also doesn't have that like really weird dry down that I was experiencing in my video. What I do have to say though, is that when I take it out, do you see that? Do you see that there's so much product on here? So I feel that the first dot I put is a little too much product for my chin, which is where I usually start. So dot and blend. And that's been working a lot better for me. So I do like that tip. So thank you very much for that. This is very white and stark against that foundation, but it also oxidized on me, so it will match soon. See, that just works a lot better if you then blend it in. And with this concealer, I've been, again, wearing it a few times throughout the week. I've had good experiences and I've had bad experiences. I've had one day where I came home and my under eye area looked like one big crepey mess. Like, it aged me so badly. Like, I look 10 years older than I am. Like, with this concealer, I think it's just really important to have well hydrated skin, because else it can just really sort of suck the life out of your skin. And now I'll do this and this, because that sort of goes together. So see, I don't have any issues anymore blending this in now, so that's good. It's just that I've had just such weird wear times with this. Like that one day that it looked like a crepey mess, I was like, maybe I didn't hydrate well enough. And then in the, like another day it looked okay. So I'm not really sure what is making the difference currently, because I've been using the same skincare and I've been using the same skincare routine for months now, which I will update you on in February, my winter skincare routine. I'm currently still trying out some new products, so that I have some other things to talk about that I haven't mentioned before. And then we've got that, and then we're done. So yeah, I'm just currently not sold on this concealer just yet. With my dry skin, like, I also don't like Tarte Shape Tape. I don't. Why? Because I have dry skin, I'm in my 30s, I've got fine lines, and these really heavy duty concealers on me very easily pull into all of those lines and just age me like by like 10-20 years while I'm not. So it's just not for me. All right, so this is looking okay. This is the powder that I'm currently using, the Faced Primer Poreless Pressed. And would you like a sneak peek? I told you that I was going to try and use it up this month. look at that pan. I'm really close. So it's just one of those powders that just works for me. It's very finely milled, and it's just, I don't know, together with the Hourglass, the Fused Light, those are like my two favorite powders. This is a powder that I feel is just, I don't know, it's super finely milled. It just sits on the skin really nicely. It is more of a setting powder though than my favorite Hourglass one, so I do feel that it does therefore on dry skin not necessarily look the best, but what I find this powder has that I don't find with a lot of other powders is that this doesn't just set my makeup. It makes my skin look more flawless once it's on. It's almost as if you've applied an Instagram filter to your face. Another change as well, I'm not sure if you can even see, but I had my brows done again. I mentioned it in another video, I think it was the e.l.f. video last week, that my brows were a bit botched by the place I was going to over the summertime. They became way too thin, and I still think that they made this brow a little bit too thin for my liking. I have several bare patches in my brows, so if you take away a brow hair just below it, my brow instantly becomes a lot thinner than it's actually looking like when you don't take away that little bit of hair. So yeah, I'm just gonna go and try and now go back every couple of weeks for a bit of upkeep. But yeah, I was perhaps just going too often, too regularly, and they made my brows too thin, so I decided to grow them out completely and just start from scratch, which is why my brows have been looking a bit crazy these past couple of weeks. But I was like, I just had to find the time, and between grading and feedback moments, like January is always the busiest month if you're a teacher, because at least over here, because it's for me, it's the end of the semester. So I still have like another deadline was on Friday. I have another deadline tomorrow on Monday when this video has gone live. So I'm currently dealing with stacks of feedback and drafts and grading and all that fun stuff. So, and then it's just difficult to find the time to actually do anything other than work. Because especially grading, like it's so time consuming to do that well. Yeah, and I also asked them to not like cut the tops of my brows because I like it when my brows are a little fluffy looking. I don't want them to be too neat because I feel it just doesn't suit my face very well. Right, so moving on to cheek products, and I just wanted to show a couple of things that are currently in my shop, my stash, that I'm loving. Like for the winter time, you guys, this bronzer, Makeup Forever Profusion bronzer. I thought I set the shade wrong. This is the shade 20M, not 10M, which I thought I had. And this, sadly, had a lot of hard pan, so I had to scratch it all off, and I see now that I didn't even manage that well, but yeah, I did get hard pan on me, but I decided to scrape it off so I can still use it. So let's put some color back into this pasty face. For highlight, I just reviewed this up on my blog, but I'm in love. Becca highlighters and me, this is a long-standing love affair. This is my 6th Becca highlighter, officially. Love them. This is in the shade Rose Quartz, and this is a pink-toned highlighter that is not icy. Oh, like, have you ever seen a pink-toned highlighter that doesn't pull like white? I haven't. This is pink, but without that like really icy reflect to it. So let me show you this when I apply it. And you know, what's also like so great about these Becca highlighters, I feel, is that they don't really have like very clear base pigment to them. So very often highlighters, especially if they're a bit cheaply made, I feel that they have, if they're a colorful highlighter, they have like color with a shine. And this is just shine with a hint of color. You see that? I just love how that looks on my skin. It goes so well with my complexion. I wrote a rave review of this one, just like the other ones that I tried. And for blush, I put this in my stash because I know I love wearing this blush in this springtime, in the winter time, or in the winter. It's January, Micah. It's the Instain Blush in Lace by the Balm. And I've heard that these are coming back. They discontinued them, and now they're being brought back. That's what I heard. And with this brush, I should say with this blush, I need to use a different brush than I usually use for my blush application. I always go in with the Real Techniques blush brush, but if I do that with this blush, I look like a clown. So this is a Quo dupe for that very expensive NARS, like handcrafted Japanese style brush. And this is like the wispiest application for blush ever. And the only thing I do is dip, like this. I try not to put too much on, take it off, smile, and then really on that apple of the cheek, just sort of blend it a little bit. And it just adds, you see that difference? It just adds that fresh hint of color, but without going overboard. With these blushes, because they are so intense, I really recommend being A, very careful, and 2, using the lightest brush that you can find, like the fluffiest blush brush you own, because with these, it can get intense very easily. So that's the cheek look done. And I just think that super bright pink shade is so scary looking, but then when you see it on, it just looks really natural, at least on my pasty face. Let's move on to eyes. And boy, do I have an update for you. I've been trying some of the new palettes that I bought for Black Friday. But before we talk about the palette, let me go in with my paint pot in Painterly, which I use every single day to block out the color of my lid. And then we can talk about the palette that I've been using. I'm now going to go in with my trusty The Body Shop Color Crush eyeshadow, I think these were called. This is my last one. I bought this for like €1 in the sale when these were discontinued, because this is my favorite creamy shade to set my eyeshadow base with. I still need to create one look with this new Makeup Revolution new neutral palette. And if you see this, then you know this looks like something that Huda Beauty New Nude looks like. It's not exactly a dupe. It's a bit more brown toned, which I'm not a fan of. And I found, and now I know why the Huda Beauty is never going to make it into my collection, is that there are not enough mid-tone shimmers that I would like to personally put on my lid. And that is something that they did copy from the New Nude. I think that in terms of the kind of like shimmers that are in here, I only really feel like putting this one or this one on my lid. And that's it. This is an inner corner highlight. This is too deep. This is too deep. And then you just have those two pressed glitters in the middle. And the only look that I still need to do with this needs to revolve around this glitter shade in Party. I've already used like the majority of the shades in this palette. And I do have to say that I really like the look of this golden glitter shade that was really pretty on the eye, but a nightmare to take off. So in terms of eye safety, I also don't think that this is a good one. So I'm going to go in with Zoned, which is this like mauve-y shade, and I'll just use that in the crease. I think there are literally like the glitter, this one, and maybe one other shade that I haven't used yet, and everything else I already put in a look. Like, see, in the pan, don't you just think that this looks so much darker, and then I get this? Like, this is, like, I bought this palette to try Makeup Revolution again because I've mentioned in other videos that I was sort of over their palettes because everything they do is like neutrals with a pop of color, and I was just a bit done with it. But I've also just come to realize that a lot of the palettes I have by them, I don't really reach for, save for like one or two. So it's a bit of a shame, really. And I have a bunch of them, and I'm actually thinking of decluttering the majority when I declutter my makeup collection in a couple of weeks' time. Like, I think it just has to happen. because I'm never reaching for these, and this is another one, like, I'm just a little disappointed in the quality. I mean, it blends nicely, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it looks okay once you get it all on, but it's just, I had expected a bit more. I'm now gonna go in with this shade right here called Karma, and I'm going to use that to blend out the crease. Just a little bit, just to bring it up a little bit higher. I think I'll use Majestic, which is this like deep plum shade, at least that's what it looks like in the pan. I'll use that in the outer V, just to make sure that we have something going on there. Oh, no, it's a bit sheer. I mean, in a way, if you're a beginner in makeup and your eyeshadow is a bit sheer, it actually makes it a lot easier to work with. So I'm definitely not thinking that, again, it's bad quality. It's just, like, compared to what I see in the pan. And then the payoff on my eyes, I don't think that this does it for me. I'm going to be using that Rumor shade, and I think I'll use it to cover my lid for that glitter to sit against. I think that that will be nice. This is just not a great neutral palette in a sense that it's not very neutral in its undertone. It's quite warm toned. Which again, if you like that sort of thing, be my guest. Have a party. I'm going to use Glitz, which is that very light shimmer in the inner corner. And then I am going to go into Majestic again. Let's see if I use a much denser brush, what happens next. So I need to hold this down. Let's see if this still doesn't do much. Even with the densest brush I own. See, it just, I mean, it certainly defines my lids, I'm not gonna lie, but it's just not that really nice deep plum that I see in the pan. I'm just not getting that. So everything I feel, because it just lacks definition, like this is the deepest shade in the palette, and it's just not that deep, which means that everything sort of pulls mid-toned browny, plummy, pinky, and then you get what? A muddy look. Yes, this is a very muddy palette. All right, so now we're gonna go in with that glitter. So I've laid down an extra layer of primer, so I can press it over the top, so it will have something to stick to, hopefully. See how sparse that glitter is? It just doesn't go on, very opaque, which is a bit of a shame. So again, like with this palette, I think you can get a really stunning, like finished look. It looks really pretty once it's on, but I just feel that every look I did with this looks pretty much identical because it's all very muddy. The glitters don't really stay put, so in terms of pressed glitters, these are definitely not my favorite. It's just, it's almost there. Let's just put it that way. So I'm gonna go in with some fixing spray next because I like to do that before I do mascara nowadays because I feel that my mascara smudges too easily if I do it after this. And by the way, this is the fixing spray with the green tea scent by Makeup Revolution. See, Makeup Revolution does do really great products. It's just not that palette for some reason. And then we are gonna go in with mascara. Ooh. I think that's good to go. And then, for something new that I wanted to throw on in this video, and I want your input on this, you guys. I bought some Glossier products when I was in New York, and I'm still sort of like testing them out on my own. I haven't put any in my Shop My Stash yet. This is their Generation G lipstick in the shade Crush. And I spotted this in the store and thought, That looks like such a pretty watermelon type of shade, and I love that. So I swatch it on the back of my hand, and if I build up the color, you will see what I mean. Like, that looks really, really pretty. And I've seen so many putting on these lipsticks, and it makes their lips look really nice and juicy and just full. And every single time I've tried to use this, my lips look parched, dry. This emphasizes every dry patch on my lips, and right now there aren't that many. Like, in fact, there aren't any at all. And I just felt it looked badly on me. Like, it latches on in certain places, but then not at all places. It's very difficult for me to get an even, like, layer with this. So let me know what you think about this, and if you have tips on how I can apply this better, let me know, because for me, so far, it's not going too well. So one thing I do have to say is that this is perhaps the most even I've gotten it to look so far. I made sure to exfoliate before filming this video to try and really give it a good chance. So it sort of looks like, what I like about it is that it has that very sort of fuzzy, blurry, like almost as if you've like been biting your lips too much. And I'm just not sure whether it's me. I'm just, again, not entirely sure. So let me know if you have any tips on how I can intensify this, how I can make it wear longer, how I can make it look better, apart from like using a lip scrub and a lip balm underneath. I think I like it, but I'm not too sure yet. So undecided on the Glossier lipstick. So yeah, that's it for me for today's video. I just wanted to do this chatty sort of, I hope I wasn't too all over the place kind of video. I may have to fast forward to some bits because I might have been too rambly. Who knows? But that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. I would very much appreciate it if you could do that. Whenever I film these like makeup-y kind of videos, they don't get as many views as when I do videos where I talk about products. But hey ho, I still want to show you what I'm using, giving you reviews, giving you my thoughts, and I thought we could do this in like a chatty way. I know that in the past I've been doing these get ready with me's with like singles, and I didn't do that today because I have another video featuring singles coming to you very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me, and then I hope to see you in my next video, and I sincerely hope you have a really, really great day. Bye!